Hey there guys, this is Slamzeron aka YouTube's Tosuke. This is the first part of the Hallowfest. And I apologize that I took so long to put this up. I was busy on Halloween night and I was just busy with doing other stuff. And whenever I would get the chance to record, I would try to record and Audacity kept failing on me, so I've had to record this multiple times, as well as having to deal with my regular outtakes that I normally do because I don't have a script to read from. But anyway, basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do what I said I would do for this. I'm just gonna tell you guys my top 3 favorite horror movie characters. I guess you could call them favorites in a way. Then I'm going to go into more detail about horror in general, like kind of an outlook on the entire genre as far as video games and films go. Alright. And now, before I start, I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time that number 3 is my favorite because I like the overall concept of what this character is, but 2 and 1, I can't really call them my favorite, but they're kind of scary. They scare me the most out of every single horror movie thing I've seen. So there won't be any pictures on them because I don't want to scare myself while watching this, because I watch my own videos on YouTube a few times before I, make the next one, then start watching that one. Anywho, let's begin. Number 3 is Dracula. I think Dracula's kind of cool. I'm kind of a vampire person. I think vampires are cool because they're scary a little bit, but at the same time they're not, so you can actually look at them, or at least I can. I can look at them without being scared at all. And I'm kind of a big vampire person. I like the whole Bela Lugosi thing, female vampires, vampire lesbians, and video game vampires, like Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. The whole Castlevania thing, and also the all that. And then there's also the whole half vampire, half human thing. I think they're called Domfer or something. And I think those are really cool because although they're vampires, they're also half human, which gives them a little more mortality, which makes them more human, which makes them a little more heroic. It gives them a little more of a heroic profile. And also, since I'm a writer, as you guys know, I have some vampire characters. I have 2, well actually 3, including a character, but that's only because she has this trait that would make her turn into a vampire once every full moon or something. And that went away as the story progresses. So I really only have 2. So that's all I can say about the whole vampire thing. Numero 2 is the Grudge Girl. She is scary with those wide eyes, that whole big chin, that wide open mouth that she gets, and how she attacks people with her hair, She's kind of like that girl from Guilty Gear. What's her name? Millie? Can't really remember. Anyway, she's scary. She's really scary. She's I almost consider her some kind of ghoulish thing. And I also think that sound that she makes is pretty scary. That I'm so hungry. I'm just kidding. But yeah, she's pretty scary. And also, just in case you're wondering, I am aware that the Grudge Girl is not her actual name. It's Kayako Saeki, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. Kayako Saeki. And she is a 24 or so year old woman who was married and her husband killed her and she got paralyzed, and that's why she always makes that moaning sound, because she's paralyzed. That was the only thing she could do. Next, it's number 1, the Exorcist girl. That girl she's so creepy. She's so creepy to where I can barely look at her. It's not like the Grudge Girl to where I can look at her for 1 second and then turn away. It's more like I can't look at her at all. Like, the instant a picture of her pops up, I look away. She's just so disturbingly ugly. She's not ugly to the point where it's disgusting. Like, if I had to stare at her while eating, I probably could. But she's like scary. How she's ugly and whatnot. And also, same with the whole Grudge thing, I am aware that her name is not the Exorcist girl. Like, the girl that got possessed, her name is Reagan McNell. And the demon that possessed her, according to Reagan, is called Captain Hottie. And then when Captain Hottie takes over and possesses Reagan, she becomes the character Pazuzu. So I just call the Exorcist girl Pazuzu, since, like, when Reagan gets possessed, I consider her kind of different. It's like she's a different person. And so that's why I call her Pazuzu. Alright. That's it for my top 3 horror movie characters. Now let's move on to horror in general. One thing I've noticed about horror movies these days is that a lot of Japanese films are being remade and then brought over here. There's like The Ring and The Grudge are like the main ones. Like how The Ring in Japan it's called Ringu, and then Grudge is Ju-on, and then like when they were brought over here they got changed to Ring and Grudge. And I think and I know both are like the prime of that horror movie genre. And I think both of those series has ended in Japan, while the US is kind of trying to catch up, or at least for The Grudge they are. It seems like they're kind of done with The Ring and kind of moving on to The Grudge. Like I know they're working on Grudge 3. And I think it's supposed to come out sometime in 2008, which gives them only 3 more months, including November, what we're in right now. And and then there are also some other Japanese films that were brought over here, like One Missed Call and some other stuff. In fact, I think Quarantine is actually a Japanese film, just by the way it looks. I kind of look at that as a Japanese film, or just by how it looks. Though one thing I don't like about the horror movies these days, they're so gory. In fact, I think they're so gory that like an entirely new genre has kind of popped out. Like the torture genre. I don't like like Saw and Hostel and whatnot. I don't like those films. I'd rather be scared by something scary popping up and scaring you, or with like something unexpected happening or something like that. I don't like gore, and that includes gory sounds. And all that's pretty scary. That's kind of what I don't like about these films these days. They're also gory and whatnot, and that's part of the reason why I don't see horror movies that much. I mean, regardless, I don't see horror movies that much anyway because I don't want to get scared. I want to sleep that night. And then there's this other thing about horror movies that I've noticed that I think a lot of other people may notice as well. Girls are friggin' scary in those films. Like, they take women, like, they take the one thing men love the most next to video games and chicken or whatever. Women, the girls are so freaking scary, like, like, and whatnot. Like, picture this scenario. There's this really cute girl that the characters meet, the protagonist. Let's just say that you're the viewer of the film. And there's this cute girl, and the protagonist meets her, and you're like, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm awesome, sweet, and and she seems like this really, really nice girl. She seems like she'd be a really good friend, a great partner, and the perfect lover for you. I mean, not for you, the viewer doesn't matter. The perfect lover for the protagonist, the good guy, the main character of the story. And she doesn't like to talk about her past. She doesn't like to talk about like her family or her past or where she lives and whatnot. And